Okay, now I'm going to start a new game again, and this time I'm going to try and actually use a character that has a much better chance of succeeding, because dying all the time is a pretty easy thing to do regardless of who you are. It doesn't really help that I'm using characters that I don't have much confidence in. But the thief is a pretty damn good character. Now, he grew up on the streets surviving as a pickpocket, working his way up to more elaborate heists. He quickly gained a reputation that made him the most feared jewel thief of all time, or at least of his time. When he accidentally stole a cursed diamond, he needed the ODD's help, and since then he's been paying them back. So as you can see here, with Thief we actually start off with a melee weapon, which is pretty damn useful, as well as 5 starting skill tokens, so we can level ourselves up straight away. So that is who we are going to choose, and his name is Yetified. That's good enough. And his starting bone can be... Can I use that knife without a bonus also? I can't remember, so I'm going to take one just in case. And for a starting edge, I'm going to take Adaptive Intellect, which allows us to draw more cards at the start of horror challenges, so hopefully we don't get scared to death immediately. Let's be this dude, and yeah, I'm just going to go for a balanced approach again. Even though we ideally want to be really good at something in order to get ourselves expertise points, we need to be balanced in order to not die, basically. So hopefully the skills that we have will enable us to get that little bit of an edge to get those expertise tokens. And yeah, I'm going to go for extra sanity because that will be my most vulnerable thing. So let's go with that. Okay, so here we are. Here we are with our thief. Now, as you can see here, we've got a trench knife, and this thing basically helps us in combat to reroll certain cards, but also, more importantly, it gives us an extra add 1 to our swords bonus. So as you can see right now, we have 3 in swords, which is pretty excellent. And what we also want to do is, because we start with a load of stat points, we want to upgrade ourselves. So yep, I'm going to put 1 into wands and 1 into cups, but the other way around. There you go. So we're 3-3-3-2 at the moment. So we are significantly harder than a lot of other people would start off as. And Adaptive Intellect is what starting edge we chose, so we're that little bit better at surviving horror challenges. And we've also got this Chameleon edge. After use of a heroic defensive feat, we get to X additional unrevealed tricks are placed on the board. Right, okie dokie. That could be pretty cool. Unfortunately, I did actually check my defensive feat beforehand, and what we have is a defensive feat that allows us to basically potentially discard wounds, but this only works in evade traps and evade obstacle challenges. So because we'll only be able to use this once we're on the results screen, we can't actually use this with our Chameleon, but no big deal. We'll probably find another heroic defeat at some point, though it's not called a heroic defeat, it's called a heroic feat. Now let's enter this room and see what's going on. Okay, let's go south. So we found a haunted suit of armour. Our attention is drawn to an old suit of armour standing guard in the gloom. As you strain to make out its features, you realise something is terribly wrong. A sudden chill shoots down our spine and a sense of dread engulfs us. There is dark sorcery involved and it nibbles at our sanity. So let's first of all try and resist the horror. We have excellent cards, so this should hopefully not be a problem. There we go. And our mind is strong, so let's see if we get anything for that. We got a mind point, that's something. We'll need to reinforce that. So this haunted suit of armour is animated by some evil sorcerous artifice. Such a curse would require great power and forbidden knowledge. Its gaze is locked on us and we sense an intelligence of some sort. So we can try and fight it, which we've got reasonable results at. We can engage it in a psychic duel, we can talk to it, or we can run. I'm going to talk to it. It's fairly easy to do, and we will get a quest from him if we succeed at doing so, which we will do eventually. We could also try and fight him. The thing about fighting him is, obviously, once you've killed him, or he's killed you, then that's it, basically. Either he disappears or you disappear. And though you still can get some good results from it, I mean, it's an alternative way for people that aren't so good at the talking to just get some tokens or get some sort of reward from dealing with these people. But we've got a pretty good chance of succeeding at this quest in the first place. And by succeeding at quests, you get a guaranteed reward. Whereas fighting people, you know, if you only just narrowly defeat them, even when you really heavily defeat them, sometimes you just don't get nothing. So I am going to talk to him. We sense keen intelligence before us, an aura of sadness permeates his very being. We also sense desire. Perhaps we can figure out what this thing wants. But we won't be doing that yet, because our cards are shite. But we only fail by a bit, so that's good. We attempt to contact the haunted armor, but our efforts fail. And we lose that mind point back. This is what happens when you talk to pieces of armour. Oh, bollocks. We have to give that up. And we scored no points there. Let's try again after we've taken no damage. Good. Accept that. And our determination has leveled us up to 5 tricks and 5 draws, so that's good. So we should do this now. Yep, we've already done it. Good. Let's see if we can beat him by any more points. Nope. Well, that's still decent. So the intelligence speaks to us. The sadness and anguish are nearly overwhelming, but we understand that it wants to break its curse. 500 years ago, a subotic witch stripped the knight's soul from his body, sealed it into the armour, and bound the key with a small glass bead. The bead was taken by a common thief who perished in this house 30 years ago. The haunted armour cannot use the key itself, but perhaps we can. Oh, we got the mind point back, so that's something. The haunted suit of armour gazes expectantly at us, and we feel anticipation in its voice. But we haven't found the bead yet, so it doesn't matter. We've got to go and find that thief corpse somewhere. And we see a book on a stand. We notice a large tomb set on an ornate reading pedestal. It is apparent that the book is bound in human skin. We have seen such things in the ODD special collections. We feel a presence nearby. Yes, we are being watched, but the strongest emanation is from the tomb itself. We could swear that it's still alive. Maybe it's even breathing, but that must be our imagination. We can attempt to read it. I do recall trying to read this at some point and failing and something really bad happening. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave these satanic books bound in human skin alone, because that sounds like a sensible thing to do. And we're going to carry on down the hallway. And this is the gym. And I know for a fact in here is the ghost boxing manager. Now we could try and deal with him. It's not particularly hard. We might get some mind points of it. Sorry, I might as well show you what he's like. Oh, there's 2 things in here. I'm not sure which one will be him. Let's go north and see what this is. Okay, so first of all we have the axe-wielding madman again. We've read this before, so let's not worry about that. Let's just try and resist the horror of having seen him. Good thing about him is he won't chase us, so we can come back to him when we're ready to deal with him. If there ever comes a point where we are. At least we've resisted the horror, so that's good. And we get nothing for that. Except... And let's just run. We're pretty good at running because our cups is quite high, so... And our swords also helps with that, so that's good. And yep, we've successfully ran away from him. The maniacal laughter fades into the background as we bolt. Ah, we got an edge upgrade. And yeah, this is why I like to even though generally speaking when you attempt to flee, you rarely ever get anything good out of it. Every so often you will, and so I still try to beat these flee encounters as heavily as I can in the vague hope that I might be able to get into something like this, get to draw something like this. And yeah, we can use edge upgrade to upgrade our adaptive intellect at the moment. So instead of drawing 1 additional card at the start of every horror challenge, now we'll start to draw 2, so that's bloody good. And this should be the boxing ghost manager, yeah. You see the unmistakable outlines of an old boxing ring. You guess that it's been years since it was last used, since it's covered in dust and the ropes seem old and frayed. Even now, though, you can smell the stale odour that permeates most gyms. Suddenly, we realise that there's a figure standing in front of us. A ghostly apparition of a boxing ghost manager, which can't read properly for some reason, looks over to you and motions for us to come over. So, let's speak to him after this wave of panic has engulfed us. We've got bloody good cards, so that again should not be a problem, which it isn't because we've succeeded. Boom, there we go. We must now respond to the ghost solicitation. We've got a mind point. Ah, another edge upgrade. That's amazing. So now we're going to be drawing 3 cards, so we should not be too easy to horrify. Anyway, the ghost boxing manager waves over to us. It obviously wants to communicate with us, so let's attempt to talk to him. Well, we've done it, so that's good. We enter a trance and begin speaking with the ghost boxing manager. He has a series of fights lined up for us, and he's anxious to get us into the ring. Okay, so I knew you'd do it, Slugger. So now all you gotta do is jump in the ring 3 times and win, win, win. 3 fights are set up for you and 3 titles are up for grabs. A ghostly crowd has suddenly gathered all around the boxing ring. You see the ghost of an attractive woman holding up a card above her head as she strolls around the ring. We can't quite make out what is going on. So let's get into the ring. All we have to do is pull ourselves up and climb into the ring. And we just might fail at it. And we have. We couldn't enter the ring. You can hear the ghosts laughing in your mind. This is not a good start. The odds the ghost bookies have made have probably already taken a hit. So let's go for this one. Good, no results. And now let's try it again, because getting into a ring shouldn't be so difficult. Oh, we've got to give that one up. Unfortunately, no more red card. Well, we still succeeded. So the ropes part, and we bounce in with a flourish. We are off to a good start. The Ghost Lightweight. You look over at your first opponent. He looks like a lightweight. We can't figure out who this fighter was in his previous life, but our manager comes up to us and whispers, "Watch out for this guy. He could punch you in the neck and break your ankle." Suddenly, we feel very afraid. So first of all, we're going to have to resist the horror of having to fight a ghost. Blue card, green card, good. That's good enough. Boom. So that's not going to scare us. Even so, we've got 15 mind hit points, basically, so we're not in too much trouble even if we do fail. So the bell's about to ring and we're standing in the corner ready to go and fight. We're not sure how to actually box a ghost, probably with our mind, but we'll try and enter a trance and fight it psychically. Got some good red cards, but because we've got so many red cards, there's a good chance that we won't encounter any red cards. But well, we won it anyway, but we only narrowly won it. So we enter a trance and then hear the bell ring, we pummel the ghost senseless and are declared the winner. The Ghost Middleweight. You look over at your next ghost opponent, he looks like a middleweight. Once again, we can't figure out how this guy was in his previous life, but our manager comes up to us and says, "Once that bell rings, you're on your own. It's just you and the other guy." Suddenly we feel very afraid. Purple, give me some purple, give me some purple, yes! Yes! There we go. Okay, so we're not going to get scared by that either. So, we won the last one, but this guy looks bigger and stronger. Hopefully our psychic talents are up to this. We can actually just leave. We don't actually have to try and do this. Oh, we've done it though. Boom, 9 points. And an additional 4? Yes, good, okay, cool. This fight is a lot tougher. The exchange of psychic punches, we exchange psychic punches and circle around each other. But after a flurry of blows, we hear our opponent cry out, "No mass." Did that just say no mass? I'm sure it said no mass. Well, who cares what he says, because we got an expertise token and a mind point, which is bloody excellent. Now the Ghost Heavyweight. We look over at our last ghost opponent. He looks like a heavyweight. We can't figure out who this guy was either, but our manager comes up to us once again and says, "It's what you do with fear that matters." But that's easy for him to say because he's not the one getting in there. So, oh, we just need a green. Oh, no, that's not good either. Green! Bollocks. Oh well, we failed this one, but this is only a fear challenge, so it's not a problem. No result good. So now we'll actually try and fight him. So, this is the last fight. Sure, this guy looks like a wraith on steroids, but we've got something he ain't got. Style, baby. This is not target 9. That's not good. I don't know if I should even try this, to be honest. I mean, I will do eventually, but it might be best to come back here when I'm a little bit heavier. Let's have a go. Let's have a go at least. Well, that's a damn good start. Yeah, we still need to make another 3 points, which means since we've got such shitty cards, we need 2 more wins, and the chance of that is low, but we just did that. Small blue? Yes! Aha! Boom! We done it. So we trade blows for 30 minutes before we land the decisive hit. The ghost's head explodes in a cloud of ectoplasmic mist. We didn't think that could happen, but the crowd is stunned, and they start chanting, "Killer, killer, killer!" And we got another exercise token, so that is also bloody marvellous. We're going to accept that. And the roar of the crowd has eerily disappeared, but we stroll around the ring, and our gloves are held high. So let's go over to the manager and thank him. "I always believed in you, champ! Now go hit the showers!" Okay, we've got a free exercise token with that as well. Another mind point, and we got one of these special cards. Now, I haven't mentioned these before because they're very rare. I was going to mention them when they came up, and they have come up, so now it's time to talk about them. Well, what they are is very special cards which you can use in different ways. Some of them just give massive bonuses, and other ones will allow you to take any card on the board, and then on top of that, they'll transport in something that gives you massive bonuses. Transform. So for example, you might have one that allows you to take any card on the board, so you might use it to take a king, and then after you've done that, the card disappears, but it leaves you with 5 expertise tokens, for example. Okay, now the High Priestess, this particular one, will remove all wound and impairment cards from our inventories after this card is used to take a trick. Right, okay. So once we've taken a card with it, from there on we'll be healed of any nasty wounds we have. So that is pretty cool. I'm actually going to search out the rest of this place, just in case there's any clues hidden. And there aren't, so let's keep moving. Yeah, and this eyeball thingy-majig, that's where we'll be keeping those cards. Got to remember that I have this graceful evasion, so if any traps wound me, I can attempt to at least not get hurt. And we've got that knife. Cool, let's go south. Okay, so what's in here? A head on a stake. I'm not sure if I've read this before, so you think you see a disembodied head floating in the gloom. As you near its location, you realise that it is a head of a man mounted on a stake that protrudes from the floor. Dried blood stains the stake and what was once a pool on the floor. You were startled when the eyes of the head flutter open. The thing is animated by some curse or forbidden sorcery, and it almost seems to be smiling at us. So let's lock gaze with the head and feel chilled. Yep, we are quite stressed at the moment. We've nullified some of the damage, but not much of it. The head's gaze seems to peel away just into a bit of our sanity or something or another, but it doesn't matter because our sanity is just fine. Our sanity is fine. So the head on the stake is obviously animated by some evil sorcery, most likely some necromantic artifice. Such a curse would require great power and forbidden knowledge. Its gaze is locked on us, and we sense an intelligence of some sort. Sorry for the sirens, I know they're fucking irritating, but there's always police going past here. I'm not sure what to do. I can engage it in a psychic duel. That's actually relatively easy in comparison to trying to stab the thing. Alternatively, I could just leave it alone. It's pretty easy to flee. Shall we try and bomb it with our mind? I'm gonna run, and we'll come back to this later. And we've got amazing cards to run with, so that should not be a problem. There we go. So we'll break our locked gaze with the head and quickly turn away. And should we look through the rest? Yeah, let's look for the rest of the room. It just means that I might have to flee that head again. Okay, but meanwhile there was a cultist patrol just hanging around in the corner of this room, probably too scared to leave because of that head mounted on a stake. Now we hear shouting and see a flash of weapons. They don't tend to ask questions, so let's go in there with our knife. We've got great cards. That's really good. It's really good. Let's take that, and we're going to take that, and we're going to take that, and we can take that. And wow, that's weird. That was a massive victory for us. You won the battle. The cultist bodies lie strewn across the floor. Let's see if we can find anything. Nothing at all. Okay, well that was terrible, but at least we beat him. And let's try and run from this gate again. Flee the head. I can't actually upgrade that, can I? I should have used... Nope. But that's good enough. That's good enough. There we go. But can we actually get past it, or do we have to flee again? Oh, we have to flee. I could just yeah, let's just psychically duel the bastard and get rid of him. Well, we've got great cards again, so this should be good. There we go. We won the duel. Our psychic talents are impressive. You forced the other mind to flee its lifeless mortal coil. Oh, we got an expertise token, and we got 2 mind points. So our mind's doing really good at the moment. Actually, I should probably spend them expertise tokens, but in what is the question? Okay, I think I'm actually going to increase my cups. Reason being is it will help us, obviously, find all cups challenges that little bit easier, which can involve traps, breaking open doors, fighting, and from there on, I'm going to probably add another skill card and get some sort of psychic power. So for now, we are going to be that much fitter and more nimble. Now let's head this way. Up, we've encountered some more malevolent shadows. We are surprised by a sudden flickering of shadow that spreads around us. We feel like we are being choked by some invisible force. Our eyes bulge as we fight to gasp for air, and the dark shadows swirl around us. Okie dokie. Oh, that was absolutely terrible. Just a horror challenge though. Our mind is weak and we start to panic as we feel we are suffocating. 3 points. Nasty. Okay, so these 2 creatures of shadow swirl around us. We recognise them immediately, and we're dealing with a type of ghostly creature that feeds off of human fear and emotions and pain. We can either stand firm and fight these creatures psychically, or run and hope to fight another day. It's not that hard to fight them. We fought the psychic head thingy-majig on a stake with this kind of target. So should we run or should we? Fleeing is actually really hard, even though we've got 4 cups. These guys are really hard to run away from. And if I fail, I'll lose my courage and maybe some life. So I'm actually going to fight them. If I fail this, I'll probably just lose some mind points since it's a psychic duel. So that's fine by me. And we have one, so that's good. You engage in a psychic duel. You stand firm and use your talents to bottle them up in a psychic containment field. We then crush the field and push them back into the spirit world. And got a mind point for it, so lovely. Jubbly, there we go. And yep, we might as well go and explore this room since we're going to be heading north anyway. And we found ourselves a clue, so that's good. That'll make the last boss that little bit easier if we happen to encounter him, which we might not, but who cares, because we just found the body of a thief. We come across a desiccated body leaning up against a wall. It was dragging a cloth bag of valuables along with it. The poor soul chose the wrong house to burgle. How did he even get this far? This must be the body of which the haunted armor spoke. You see a decaying satchel of thief's tools and loot gripped in a skeletal hand. So this target's actually quite high. This is really a wands challenge. We could come back here when we have a few more wands, or we could try and do it now. I don't know. I really don't know. It's really chance. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to come back this way. Do I really want to be heading back this way? There's not really much else here for me. You know, I might not end up coming back. Oh no, we would do. I will want to deal with that axe-wielding madman, because sometimes he can have good weapons on him. So let's head down this corridor and walk straight into a zombie. We see them lying on the floor, but we obviously didn't connect the dots. We started off down the hall, giving the burlap sacks a wide berth. We slipped past one large bag and then stopped in our tracks when we heard the ripped sound of cloth being torn by some sharp instrument. We turned to face the sound and witnessed a decaying corpse rising up out of the remnants of the bag. The sharp instruments are razor-like claws. So now we must resist the horror. And I think we've already resisted it, so that's good. Getting a lot of cards, so that's handy. Nothing of interest, but that's cool. That's cool. We can attempt to fight them, or we can attempt to flee. Fleeing is actually, again, rather hard. So, yeah, fleeing the zombie is actually quite difficult. Even though they're zombies, and on top of that they're tied up in body bags, they are actually rather good at stopping us. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to attack the zombie. We can use our knife to nudge something up a bit. Or X the number of swords rolled. Chance that we'd actually get that up to the right... Yeah, we couldn't. We literally couldn't. So let's just leave that. And we can't get that up to the right level either, so let's leave that. And yep, we've lost. So we lose the battle, the zombie overpowers us, and things go from bad to worse. But luckily we don't take any damage. So let's try and fight him again. And that also went badly. But we're still not hurt. We're evading all his attacks at the moment. Now we've got some damn good cards. Hopefully we'll find something purple, and we have done, so that's good. Now we can use that knife. So let's stick it! So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and bump up the value of that blue 9 to put on that 10, because if we stick a blue 10 on another blue 10, we actually win, so that's good. And we succeed. And we get it up there. So boom, there we go, we take those points. And that's that. So the zombie lies scattered on the floor in several pieces. We decided not to put it back in the bag. Got some life from that, so that's good, that's good. As you can see, this hallway is filled with these body bags, and yeah, any moment they can open and unleash a zombie into you. First of all, let's go and check out this room. Okay, what's over here? A demon baby. We are startled by a rocking cradle. It seems to be moving by its own accord. The squeaking of the runners on the wood is unsettling. We step closer. As we approach, we begin to suspect there is something lying inside the cradle. We peer down and behold a thing of astounding ugliness, a demon baby. It grins up at us, and we are afraid. Our eyes widen in disbelief as the demon baby coos at you in some type of demonic cunt. It gnaws at your sanity. But not enough, because we've already defeated it, and there you go. Can we get a small purple? Nope, doesn't matter, because we got amazing results as it was. Oh, and another edge upgrade. We're doing we're getting amazing cards at the moment. I can't believe this is the first time I've ever actually completely leveled any edge up, so that's amazing. Its cooing is almost as disturbing as its demonic appearance. We've heard of an ODD agent who might have once looked into this. What? You've heard of an ODD agent who might have once looked like this. However, this thing radiates pure evil. It's not going to jump at a recruitment offer, and most certainly has something in mind other than lying here waiting for its mother. We can try and attack it, but it's actually really difficult. Same goes for sorcery, and this duel isn't much better, so let's just leave this thing alone. And back into the zombie corridor. And let's go and enter the chapel. Now, in here shall be, or should be, at least, that ghostly bride. Yeah, let's go and talk to her, see how she's going. The ghost bride. We've seen this before. And she, as we know, is waiting in this chapel looking for her husband, or her husband-to-be, who never quite made it. So we're not going to get scared by her, so that's good. Now let's attempt to interact with her and glean some information about this whole event. Done it. Can we do it extra good? No, we can't. That doesn't really matter. She explains that she's waiting here for her betrothed who is late. Shazam! There we go. Yep, her name appears to have been Constance, and we're going to leave. There we go. And back in the zombie corridor, and another one's just broken out of the body bag, so let's deal with him. Do we have any better red cards? Nope. But we are going to get that one, and not that one. Unfortunately, we can't use our knife here because this is a horror encounter, not a fight, so... all nasty. So we take 3 mind points worth of damage. Let's attempt to kill it again. And we should be... yep, we're already successful, so that's good. Tear it to pieces with our knife. Getting quite a lot of life now, so that's bloody handy, because we will need that. Oh, we've come across a locked door. We can attempt to pick the lock, or we can attempt to bash the door in. I probably am going to do one of these. I think I'm going to attempt to pick the lock. Yeah, because I know if you fail at bashing the door in, you can take some hit points worth of damage, and if you fail to pick the lock, you can take some mind points worth of damage. Yeah, I'll attempt to pick the lock. We're doing pretty good for mind points at the moment. Our hit points aren't far off now, mind you, but still. Anyway, we've already succeeded at that. We're not going to score anything more, so we're probably not going to get anything good out of this, but nevertheless, we've opened the door, so that's cool. Now let's head inside. And this is the dining room. And actually, it's quite handy this is the dining room, because we might just encounter someone who could be quite useful to us. And that would be this guy. Now, this is the glutton. We hear sounds of something feeding. In the gloom we see a bloated figure seated at the end of the table. Our first impression is that it's some corporeal thing and not a spirit of some sort, but we step close and get a better view. The creature is demonic in appearance. It's busy feasting on some type of meat that adorns a silver platter. It halts its chewing and slowly lifts its head up to examine us. The eyes transfix us. Your training tells us that you are in danger. Let's resist the horror. Resist the horror! We've already done it, so that's good. Our mind is strong. We push back the nausea and stare the demon down, baby. Okay, the glutton. We are confronted with the demon of gluttony. As red juice runs down its face and chin, we struggle to overcome a growing nausea. You remember the ODD lectures in demonology. A type of demon for each of the 7 deadly sins is described by Julianus, the theologist, in the Hermetica Chaldea. These demons love to bargain and converse, and playing along with one can be very dangerous. It seems to be sizing us up like it's looking at a menu. Let's try and bargain with the bastard. Looks like we're going to fail that, so we do. Your old Chilean is not what it used to be, or Chaldean. It looks at you and snorts. We hope it isn't being made angry by our lack of communicative skills. So we take a seat and manage to get its attention. We go and start a conversation in Old Chaldean once again. Can we make it understand us? Probably not. Yeah, we have. It seems eager to hear us out. In fact, it wants us to do him a little favour, which just so happens to involve this demon baby. We've got 3 mind points back for that, so that's bloody handy. The glutton, bring me more food in a bucket. The demon says it wants more food, and it's not just any food. There is a nursery nearby. It wants a baby, and from its description, it's not just any baby. You're not ready to confront the hungry creature. Yep. So let's go and let's grab that baby.